Welcome back to Epic Ranking, where we dive into the best of the best. Today, we're counting down the ultimate RPGs that you must play. We're talking about games that hit every note perfectly: story, combat, characters, you name it. These are the RPGs that deserve all the love and a perfect 10 out of 10. So let's get into it. Top 14 perfect 10 out of 10 RPGs you must play. Let's go. The Outer Worlds, the game that proves space can be just as sarcastic and morally complicated as Earth. You're out there hopping between planets, chatting with crazy characters, and deciding whether to help, backstab, or just ignore entire factions. Honestly, the writing in this game is pure gold. Witty dialogue that makes you feel like you're starring in your own sci-fi sitcom, but with more laser guns. The story is full of twists and player choices that can lead to drastically different outcomes. It's basically the space opera you didn't know you needed, but can't stop loving once you start. Whether you want to save the galaxy or burn it all down for a quick buck, The Outer Worlds lets you do it in style. Oh, and your companions? They're all lovable misfits that you'll want to protect or sacrifice if you're that kind of player. No judgment? Okay, maybe a little judgment. Bottom line, if you like Fallout-style RPGs but want more space lasers, this one's for you. If you've ever wanted to set the ground on fire, electrify a puddle, and then laugh maniacally while your enemies fry, Divinity Original Sin 2 is your game. This RPG is basically how creative can you get with your spells and tactics, mixed with top-tier storytelling. Playing solo or with friends, you'll navigate a world full of choices that can change everything. And I mean everything. Decide to kill an NPC? Sure, but good luck later when you realize you needed that guy. Oops. The turn-based combat is a blast, especially when you get creative with the environment. And the characters? Unforgettable. You'll have deep conversations with a talking squirrel riding a skeleton cat, yes, really, 1 minute, and be strategizing a massive battle the next. This game is all about freedom and chaos in the best possible way. Grab some friends, make terrible decisions together, and see what happens. You won't regret it until you do. Want to live the double life of a high school student who's also part of a team of badass thieves stealing the hearts of corrupt adults? Of course you do. Persona 5 Royal makes that dream come true. You'll balance school life, yes, actual homework and exams, with dungeon crawling, all set in a stylish world that oozes cool from every corner. The combat system is flashy and addictive, but it's the characters and the story that'll keep you hooked. Seriously, the Phantom Thieves are some of the best written characters in gaming. You'll laugh, cry, and probably wish they were your real-life friends. And let's not forget the epic soundtrack. This game is so stylish that even its menus look cool. If you haven't played Persona 5 Royal, just trust me, you're missing out on one of the most fun, engaging RPG experiences out there. And no, you won't regret staying up all night to finish just one more palace. Fallout. New Vegas is the game where you can be a lone wanderer 1 minute and the ruler of New Vegas the next, if you play your cards right. Get it? Cards? It's Vegas. This game throws you into the post-apocalypse with nothing but a gun and a whole lot of questions. The choices are endless, and every decision you make leads to new alliances, betrayals, or complete chaos. Want to side with a fascist regime? Go for it. Prefer to run an independent New Vegas where you call the shots? Do it. The freedom here is unparalleled. You can take out entire factions or become their savior, all while exploring a world full of quirky characters and dark humor. And let's not forget, you can use the Wild Wasteland perk to make the game even crazier, like stumbling upon an alien crash site or fighting giant, mutated animals. If you're into RPGs that let you craft your own path and wreak some havoc along the way, Fallout New Vegas is the desert sandbox you've been looking for. Imagine waking up in a world where giant robot dinosaurs roam free. Now imagine that you get to hunt those robot dinosaurs with a bow and arrow. Yeah, that's Horizon Zero Dawn in a nutshell, and it's just as awesome as it sounds. You play as Aloy, an outcast turned hero, and your journey to uncover the secrets of this strange post-apocalyptic world is both thrilling and beautiful. The combat is smooth, the visuals are stunning, and taking down a giant mechanical T-Rex, pure gaming bliss. The game's open world is full of secrets, side quests, and jaw-dropping vistas that make you want to explore every inch. Whether you're crafting weapons, scanning enemies for weak spots, or just hanging out in a lush jungle watching the robots do their thing, Horizon Zero Dawn keeps things fresh and exciting from start to finish. It's basically the perfect mix of sci-fi, action, and RPG goodness. Dragon Age Origins is the kind of RPG where your choices matter, like really matter. You're thrown into a world on the brink of destruction, and as a Grey Warden, it's your job to unite the kingdoms against the Darkspawn. No pressure, right? The game lets you shape your character's personality and relationships, so you can be a heroic leader or a total jerk. It's up to you. Every playthrough feels unique, thanks to the different origin stories and branching narratives. What makes Dragon Age Origins special is the cast of companions you meet along the way. They're quirky, complex, and will react to your decisions, sometimes with praise, other times by leaving your party altogether. Awkward. The tactical combat also adds an extra layer of strategy, especially during those intense boss battles. If you're a fan of epic fantasy stories, memorable characters, and deep, choice-driven gameplay, Dragon Age Origins is one RPG you won't want to miss. Feeling masochistic? Well, look no further than Dark Souls 3, where the game loves nothing more than teaching you hard lessons, over and over again. But here's the thing, every death is a lesson, and when you finally beat that boss after 17 tries, it's pure satisfaction. You play as the Ashen One, and your job is to rekindle the fading flame in a world that's on the brink of collapse. Easy, right? Wrong. Every corner hides danger. Every boss is an epic challenge, and the lore, as deep and mysterious as it gets. The real magic of Dark Souls 3 is how it combines brutal difficulty with rewarding gameplay. When you master the combat, it feels like you've unlocked some kind of gaming superpower, and that feeling of accomplishment? Chef's kiss. If you love a challenge and want to dive into one of the most atmospheric, dark fantasy worlds ever, this is the game for you. Just remember, prepare to die. A lot. Okay, so Cyberpunk 2077 had a rough launch, but post-patch, this game delivers on all the cyberpunk dreams we were promised. Night City is a sprawling, neon-soaked playground where you can do anything from hacking your way into buildings to having shootouts with megacorporations. You play as V, and the story is packed with twists, conspiracies, and a certain Keanu Reeves character who may or may not be trying to hijack your mind. No big deal. What makes Cyberpunk 2077 a must-play is how alive Night City feels. Every corner of the city is filled with things to do, people to meet, and chaos to unleash. Plus, the combat is fun, fast, and varied. You can go in guns blazing or hack your way through enemies without even lifting a finger. If you're into futuristic worlds, deep customization, and a story full of morally gray choices, Cyberpunk, in its current form, is an absolute blast. Mass Effect 2 isn't just an RPG, it's an emotional roller coaster through space. As Commander Shepard, you're tasked with assembling a crew of the galaxy's most dangerous and fascinating characters to take on a suicide mission that will decide the fate of, well, everyone. Every member of your team has their own story, and let's be honest, by the time you're halfway through, you'll be ready to sacrifice anything to keep them alive. The game nails the balance between action-packed combat and deep, meaningful character interactions. The choices you make shape not only your story, but the lives of your crew. And let me tell you, those decisions are not easy. The final mission? Nerve-wracking and epic. Skyrim. The game where you can shout at dragons, join a band of assassins, and accidentally steal a sweet roll, all in one afternoon. Skyrim is the ultimate open-world RPG, where the only limit is your imagination. Want to become a stealthy assassin? Go for it. Want to ignore the main quest entirely and just build a house in the woods? Why not? The world is massive, and there's always something new to discover, whether it's hidden treasure, a deadly dragon, or a bandit camp that needs, clearing out. What makes Skyrim a 10 out of 10 experience is the freedom. You can play it your way, and no two adventures are ever the same. Plus, with all the mods out there, you can basically turn it into whatever kind of game you want. If you've somehow never played Skyrim, well, what are you waiting for? It's time to become the Dragonborn and shout your way to victory. Bloodborne, the game that haunts your dreams, in the best possible way, of course. From the minds behind Dark Souls, Bloodborne takes the action RPG formula and cranks it up a notch with faster combat, gothic horror vibes, and a creepy, twisted world that will have you questioning reality itself. You play as a hunter, tasked with cleansing the plague-ridden city of Yharnam. And let me tell you, this city is not for the faint of heart. The combat is all about being aggressive. None of that hanging back, turtling up business. You're rewarded for taking risks, and every enemy encounter feels like a high-stakes battle for survival. The bosses? Absolutely terrifying and brilliant. Plus, the lore in Bloodborne is mysterious and rich, woven into the game in subtle ways that keep you guessing. You'll be itching to uncover its secrets long after you've beaten the game, if you can survive it, that is. The Witcher 3 is hands down one of the best RPGs ever made. Period. You play as Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter navigating a morally complex world filled with political intrigue, personal vendettas, and a lot of monsters. The combat is slick, but what really sets The Witcher 3 apart is its storytelling. Every quest, even the smallest side quest, feels meaningful. You'll find yourself getting emotionally invested in characters you just met, and that's not easy to pull off in an open-world game. And let's talk about the world. The Witcher 3's world feels alive. Whether you're exploring haunted forests, vibrant cities, or the remote wilderness, there's always something to discover. Plus, Geralt is basically a medieval detective with a sword, and that's just awesome. If you haven't experienced the magic of The Witcher 3, stop what you're doing and dive in. You'll thank me later. Red Dead Redemption 2 is more than just an RPG. It's a full-blown Wild West simulator, complete with shootouts, horse chases, and bar fights. You play as Arthur Morgan, a complex character stuck between loyalty to his gang and the changing times of a lawless world. The game is filled with some of the most stunning open-world landscapes ever created, and every inch of the map feels meticulously crafted. The story? Oh, it's a slow burn, but when it hits hard. The characters are so well developed that you'll feel like you've lived through their highs and lows by the time the credits roll. Whether you're robbing trains, hunting in the mountains, or just taking in the scenery, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the Wild West adventure you didn't know you needed. Grab your cowboy hat and saddle up, partner. This game is one for the ages. At the top of the list, we have The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, the game that redefined open-world RPGs. You play as Link, and your mission is to defeat Calamity Ganon and save Hyrule. But what really makes this game a 10 out of 10 is the sheer freedom it offers. You can climb any mountain, explore any region, and tackle quests in any order you want. The world is a playground, and it encourages experimentation. Want to roll a boulder down a hill to take out enemies? Go for it. Set your weapons on fire to solve puzzles? Why not? The game is filled with secrets, and every time you think you've seen it all, Breath of the Wild surprises you with something new. The visuals are stunning, the physics system is genius, and the soundtrack, absolutely magical. Whether you're a longtime Zelda fan or new to the series, Breath of the Wild is a masterpiece that every RPG fan needs to play. And that's a wrap on the top 14 perfect 10 out of 10 RPGs you must play. Which one are you going to dive into next? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more epic gaming countdowns. This is Epic Ranking signing off. See you in the next adventure.